When Geeks Collide with your hosts, Logan Savage and Steve Brown.
Although I'm filled with love, I'm afraid they'll hurt my pride.
Technology's a fucking idiot. Technology ruins everything.
Really? Yeah. I think it makes it better, but when it doesn't work...
Especially medical technology.
Wait,
There's a lot of people who don't need to be here.
Yeah. So I saw your boy won the title last night.
Oh, Brent.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah, respect the guerrilla army, motherfucker.
Yeah, hey, I do, man.
Who's this?
Brent won the title.
And then at the end of it, Scotty Turner's on the canvas, and the camera is like, he's right near the ropes, and the camera is right at the ropes, right in front of him. And I drop down on all fours, get right in his face, and start screaming, "World Star!" So Ash owes me for the 100,000 hits he's going to get.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you partnered with Ash in fight?
In fight?
Yeah.
No, I'm just working for him.
Oh, you're just working for him.
Yeah.
What do you do for him? Promote and...
No, he's a performer.
I wrestle.
Oh, you still wrestle? I'm just kidding, man. I love you.
Oh my fucking! I'm gonna bury you.
But you know what? I've never seen you wrestle, so...
You haven't?
No, I've never seen you wrestle.
Oh.
I've seen some stuff on YouTube when you were in PWA.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I don't usually wrestle on my own shows.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but I've been check out the VCW TV show. I'm one of the Brent and I are tag champs at VCW.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brent's racking the titles up, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do this because I'm at work and I'm gonna open up in a little while.
Yeah, well, we're recording already, so...
Yeah, we're recording, so we're recording.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I didn't call anybody a scumbag or anything, did I?
No.
No, you just said that a whole bunch of people should have been dead.
Oh, but, yeah, well, that's just my general hatred of
Yeah, so you're good.
You weren't specific, so...
But I guess we should say that, we're on the phone with Anthony Kingdom James, so...
Hello, everybody.
And, we ran into you at Fan Expo.
Yeah.
And you're there promoting your comic book.
Yes, F1rst Hero, which is coming out in March of 2014 from Action Lab Entertainment.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you're still doing the Indie GOGO thing, right?
Yeah, the Indie GOGO is running now. It's running until October 19th.
Okay.
October 17th. October 17th, that's important. And we're trying to raise $7,500 for, some of the production stuff on the comic book, coloring, lettering. We've got promotion to do. We've got, and of course the rewards themselves for the Indie GOGO campaign have to go out, and legal fees. My lawyer, I owe my lawyer money.
Oh man,
lawyers.
Yeah.
Wow. So how much are you looking to raise to fund?
$7,500.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that part.
That's okay. $7,500. We're right around $2,000 right now as we record this. And for people who don't know, Indiegogo is a lot like Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding website. People with creative projects offer the project up on the website, and in exchange for people donating to the site, you get to pick perk packages. In our case, for the F1rst Hero, it starts at $5. For $5, you can get a digital copy of all 4 issues of the first miniseries. We just added a a new perk today for $15. You can get a signed copy of just the first issue of the book.
Sweet.
And then starting at $25, you can get the trade paperback of all 4 issues and all the supplemental material. You can get all 4 issues as separate issues mailed to you. We've got T-shirts. We've got original art from the series. We've got a chance to appear in the book as a character.
That's awesome.
And we've got sketchbooks. Like a sketchbook that you would take to a convention.
Yeah.
A convention-style sketchbook, and you can get them with original first-page sketches drawn for you by our series artist, Philip Stevie, by our cover artist, Lee Motor, by Marcus Toe, who has worked on Batwing and The Flash and Huntress, and he's got a new book coming out called Cyborg 9, or by Francis Manipool, who is the writer and artist on The Flash for DC.
Wow. That's some.
Yeah.
That's some. That's
some perks, man.
Yeah, man. That's pretty good.
Got some heavyweight people on my side.
Yeah, totally.
Now I just, it needs to translate into more money. And I mean, I've been lucky so far. I've had just this past weekend, BrokenFrontier.com posted an article I wrote. BleedingCool.com posted an article I wrote.
Wow.
Next Element Podcast. An Elegant Weapon podcast. A few different sites. Geeks of Doom is doing an article about it, and now I'm here with you guys.
Yeah.
So,
sorry about that.
You won't be bragging to the other interviewers that you were on our podcast, though.
Well, this is the icing on the cake.
Oh, so thank
You're
you.
too nice.
When geeks collide, this is what my entire life has been building towards.
And how long has this been in the process? This comic book idea.
I had this idea, and I wrote about this in the Bleeding Cool article. I had this idea about 4 or 5 years ago now. After a long time away from comics, I started collecting again a bit, and then I had so many friends. The Silver Snail here in Toronto. The Silver Snail is the major comic book shop in Toronto.
Yeah.
And years and years ago, the Silver Snail, for a group of us, it was like Cheers, and I was Norm.
Yeah.
And I went to Pittsburgh for a couple of years. When I came back, an easy way to reconnect with a lot of my friends was to go to Fan Expo Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would be there, all hands on deck, guys who worked for and had worked for the Silver Snail, helping out with their giant booth for the convention. So I got to see a bunch of people, but then I walked around the convention, and I walked through Artist Alley, and I saw what people were doing, and it got my interest up again for making an attempt to get into comics.
Got the juices flowing.
Yep. And so, I started working on a couple of things, and then there were things rooting around in my head, like crazy villains. I started coming up with these crazy villains. Yeah. And I wanted some way to bring them all together, and I started thinking about how maybe, what if superpowers made you crazy? What if there were no heroes? What if there were just villains?
Yeah.
And it was just every crazy, there's some that I've had that I've been saving that aren't even in the first storyline. There's a character called I say the powers first. He's a mutated spider-powered pimp. And his name is Mac Daddy Longlegs.
Oh, that's awesome. I like the name.
Okay. So if that gives you any indication of the kind of characters I started coming up with.
Yes.
So then I decided, I'll put them all together, to have somebody fighting them off, and that's when I came up with the idea of, one character who doesn't go into. He gets powers, but he doesn't go crazy. And that's basically the first hero. It's a world where everybody who gets superpowers goes criminally or clinically insane.
Yeah.
And one guy doesn't, and he has to decide what to do. Does he, with a world that hunts down superhumans, does he hide and save himself, or does he risk his own existence to help people?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well, you gave me that sampler one,
yeah.
and I read, like, that night I went home, I read it, and as soon as I was done, I was like, when is the rest of this coming out? I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
it was
that is
awesome.
absolutely the point of it. And what Steve's talking about is we did an ash can last year. My previous artist on the series was a fellow by the name of Valentine DeLandro, who most recently was doing a few issues of Morbius Living Vampire at Marvel. And Valentine and I met, and he agreed to come on board the book. And we did the 8 pages. You know, it's great to have ideas as a writer and try and break into comics, but what editor wants to sit down and read a script?
Yeah.
And this is a lesson I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
You have to find an artist. You have to put art together.
Yeah.
You have to give an editor a look at what you'll be delivering. You know? And
You have to make it easy for him to visualize the project.
Because you don't want them to work at it. You want to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the same thing, you know, movie people talk about the elevator pitch. You know, distill your idea down to 2 quick lines,
Yeah.
3 quick lines that you can get out to a producer who's trapped in an elevator with you for, you know, 6 or 10 floors.
Yeah.
And the ash can, you know, we put that together, 8 pages of story and art, and then we had character designs and an overall story summary for the first series, and, you know, some bios on the 2 of us, and we I went to New York Comic Con last year and started handing it out to publishers and to editors. And the funny thing is, it isn't even the print edition of that got me my deal with Action Lab. It was I came home after New York and kept sending stuff out. I was sending out a PDF, emailing a PDF to different companies, and it's the PDF of the Ash. I could have saved all that money on printing, man.
Wow.
The PDF of the Ash Can went to Action Lab to a fellow by the name of, got into the hands of Dave Dwanch, their creative director.
Mm-hmm.
And January 2nd of this year, Dave called me and said, hey, we're interested in the book.
That's awesome.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. He said I would have called you yesterday, but you know, I don't want to disturb anybody on New Year's Day. And I said, I'm just sitting here, man. You could have called. So you know,
It's a great idea. It's a great idea because, I mean, if you had superpowers, you would probably use them for.
Oh, I'd definitely be robbing banks.
Yeah, exactly. If you were invisible,
Yeah.
you would go and rob a bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope that all you would do is rob a bank.
Yeah.
I know the 2 of you.
Oh, we might do other things, but we won't mention them here.
But one of the things that I like to do most in my writing now, and my writing now is so much more informed than it was in the mid-'90s when I tried to break in, going to San Diego every year trying to peddle scripts. I like to take what I know, what I've read, what I've seen before, and I like to change it.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, I read, and this is going to be an mildly obscure reference for a lot of younger people listening to this, is I read a very large biography on Miles Davis a few years ago,
Okay.
the jazz trumpeter.
Yeah.
And this particular biography is written by somebody who was deeply into the music as he was into Miles' life, and he details how Miles would take a song and rearrange it, like how he would rearrange it to create something new. Taking phrases of music and turning them backwards and switching them, and and injecting new ideas into existing music, and that was jazz. And that's kind of what I do here. George Zotti, who is co-owner of the Silver Snail, when he first read the very first synopsis of the F1rst Hero, his quote back to me was, "You've made the Mutant Registration Act make sense."
Ah.
So, hey, so F. Chris Claremont, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally, man.
But so it's something new and something familiar at the same time.
Yeah, I like that myself too. Something that if you've been reading comics for a long time, it just makes sense to you.
Yeah.
It's very familiar, feels familiar, but it's new, like you just said.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, man.
Thank you.
Well, I've only seen your comic book, and it looks fantastic. How did it feel having the words that you wrote down on paper? Finally seeing it come to fruition. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing an artist drawing it.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I mean, as I'll tell you what, as great as getting those first 8 pages was from Valentine. Valentine has since left the project, and in the spring I had to find a new artist for the book, and I found a cat by the name of Philip Seavey. I found him online. He actually lives in Utah. Wow. And this upcoming New York Comic Con next month in October, it's going to be the first time we meet in person.
Oh, wow.
We're going to meet in person at the Action Lab booth as we sit down to sign autographs.
Wow.
So,
have you
Phil,
seen?
I get emails from Phil once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week now with new inked pages from him.
Yeah.
As he works on the book, he last week he sent me an email with 7 pages of the most beautiful art I've ever seen.
Oh, that must be so amazing.
And it was the last 7 pages of issue 3. He's working on issue 4 now. He had the weekend. He took the weekend off because he was at Salt Lake City Comic Con.
Yeah.
And but he's going to have this thing. He's going to have the 4th issue wrapped up by the time we go to New York in a month. And I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Oh man.
To have my thought process come back to me in the form of some really great finished art.
Yeah, that must be amazing. Did you pitch it as a 4 issue story?
No, I pitched it as a 5.
Oh, okay.
I pitched it as a 5, and then a couple of things happened after I got my deal. After I got my deal, I went back to school. I took one of Ty Templeton's comic book boot camp courses here in Toronto. Part of the reason I did it was because I wanted to start drawing again so I could work on some art for other projects of my own. But part of it was, some writing theory. And Ty Templeton's been working in the industry for, more like 25 years now. He is incredible. He's an incredible creator, and he's an incredible teacher. And if you're in Toronto and even if you want to do comic books for fun, I recommend taking one of his comic book boot camp courses.
Where is that?
Excuse me.
Where is that located? That school?
Downtown Toronto, on Spadina, near Spadina and College.
Okay.
They have a spot, and it's really great. I'll flip you guys the website address, and you can pass it on to people.
Yeah.
But it helped me with my writing, and there was something in the first issue that I wanted to change, and I actually turned issues 1 and 2 into one single issue. And they wrote something in the story. The story actually started when I wrote it, the story actually started at the end. There were 16 pages of what would be like the final battle between two characters. And I thought, well, this is so smart of me. I'll tell the end of the story, and then people will want to read 30 issues, see how the character got there. And I realized that's bullshit, because what I'm doing is locking myself into a story, and if I decide to make changes organically as I'm writing the story, I'm effed.
Yeah.
That I have to go to. So it actually got pared down to 4 issues, and future storylines story arcs will probably be written for 5 issues, but this one is going to be 4. Yeah.
Oh, very cool, man.
Now you're not just a comic book writer.
No.
Or a DJ extraordinaire. You're also a wrestling promoter, and you do have a show coming up.
Yes. Sunday, November 3rd of this year, the year of our Lord, 2013. Silliness. The Union of Independent Professional Wrestlers returns to Toronto. We got a new venue. It's the all-new Rockpile East at Eglinton and Brimley in Scarborough. It's going to be an afternoon show. I think it's going to be a 2:30 start, 2:30 or 3 o'clock start.
Sweet.
I don't have the poster in front of me, so. And main event is going to be the Union champion, the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, defending his title against former ECW superstar Colin Delaney.
Nice.
And then we have the first round matches of the first ever King of Toronto tournament, and I am pleased to say that you, Mr. Steve Brown, are in the first round.
Oh wow.
There
Nice.
you go.
I'm usually in the first rounds.
And eliminated.
But right there,
Hold on.
What?
I'll tell you how you know you're getting eliminated.
Go on.
You want to know why? You want to know why you should go into that match thinking you're going to be eliminated. Do you want to know why?
why?
You're fighting me.
Oh. You're fighting the promoter.
I don't usually wrestle on my own shows, but you know what? I came
Cool.
up with the idea for the King of Toronto tournament. I decided that the winner of the tournament, besides getting the cup, would be the new #1 contender for the Union heavyweight title.
Cool.
Sweet.
I've never had my own heavyweight title before.
No
Why don't I
way.
put myself in the tournament, give myself a chance to win
Sure.
my own belt.
Hey, everybody else does it. Why not?
So I mean, we're all friendly here, Steve. But
Yeah.
come November 3rd, I'm gonna put you down like a dog.
He's talking smack now.
He is.
I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
You know what? Seriously, this is going to be my first Union event. Well, I've attended, but this is going to be my first time wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly, truly, like, never been more excited.
Yeah.
In, like, so long. I'm just like, finally, doing the Union. And, you know, you got Josh Alexander, the champion. Him on any card, that's the price of admission right there. To me,
Yeah, he's it.
yeah, I think he's the best in the world, personally.
He is fantastic.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm happy. I'm so happy he's champ. But listen, I'm just gonna dust you off, and then 2 more idiots, and then I'm gonna have to beat Josh for the title.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
an
you
uphill
wouldn't-
battle, my friend.
You wouldn't be a true promoter unless you were the champion of your promotion.
There's so many people I could goof on right now, but no.
Let's ask All Ego if he knows anyone.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyways, guys, listen.
Yep.
I gotta take off.
All right.
Yes, go present those ladies and their boobies.
I gotta play bad music for naked girls.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of poison?
No, actually not.
No
But,
poison, eh?
No.
Well, what do you think is the most played song at a strip club?
The most overplayed music in my club.
Yeah.
Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Oh my God.
I just want to kill myself every night.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But listen, before I go, I want to tell you guys that I'm so glad you guys are doing this show.
Yeah.
Glad you guys decided, that's the beauty of podcasting. You want to do it, you can do it. It doesn't have to be a big fucking studio production.
Yeah.
You guys can, home cook this thing, and I know you guys have got shit to say, and you've created your own venue for it, and that's beautiful. And you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you,
Hey,
sir.
coming from you, it means a lot, man. Thank you.
And honest to God, thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
later.
All right, bye.
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 So there was Anthony Kingdom James.
Yeah.
His comic. Did I lend you?
No,
the
you never
sampler?
lend. No, you have to lend
Before
it.
you leave, I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I read it. Like I said, that night,
Yeah.
I messaged him right away. I'm like, I want more. Like,
Yeah.
How long do I have to wait? It's gonna be over a year, but it's gonna be worth it.
The art looks fantastic. I know he's going with a different artist now.
Yeah,
But that,
no.
on that sampler, it was really good.
Yes, you made a table. Now we're being joined by Alexis, who made a table out of Lego.
Yes.
Thank you. Say hi to everyone.
Say hi. No. Now she's shy.
Say hi, everybody.
She is recorder shy.
Yeah. But yeah, so
That's awesome, man. And I mean the buzz around it too, like not just because we know him and stuff like that,
No.
but I'm hearing a lot of buzz, man.
yeah, I heard people talking about it
Yeah.
at a comic book shop.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I recently was at a comic book shop after
Yeah.
Fan Expo, and someone was saying, "Oh yeah, there's this comic coming out, F1rst Hero."
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what they said, but I quickly interjected. I'm like, "Yes, that is a friend of mine," and they're like, "Oh really?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I said I read the. Now she's talking.
Now she talks.
But
Over
yeah,
us.
I said I read the sampler. It was outstanding. Like, it was so good. Just come April,
Yeah. I mean,
hit your comic book shops,
yeah.
or hit mine if it's open.
Well, mine is just right around the corner from me, so
Lucky you.
yeah. I can't.
I wish I had a.
Can't wait to just go around the corner.
Yes. Thank you. Now you talk. Yeah. But yeah, and then check out the Union. It's like I said, Josh Alexander on a show. That's
Worth a mission.
that's all I need.
Yeah.
You know.
We should have him on the podcast
Yeah.
one day.
We should. He doesn't live too far from here.
No.
No, he's pretty close to me.
And I know he likes comic books and stuff like
Yeah.
that too.
And yeah, I believe Ethan Page is on the show. Our buddy.
Yeah.
A couple other of our buddies, Checkmate, Lionel Knight, Christopher
Yeah.
Bishop. They're the tag champs. They're gonna be there. And like I said, this is my first time. Like I've known Kingdom for a while now, and I've attended Union, but this is my first time. That's my
Yeah.
debut, and I'm pretty stoked.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's
Yeah.
funny. Maybe
I'll come and check it out.
It's at the other rock pile.
Yeah, I know. Is that on a Sunday?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come and check that out for sure. Because I've never been to a Union show, and now that you're on it, and a bunch of other my friends,
Yeah.
I'll definitely come check it out.
But so that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be an episode. We should just post this as an interview. Like, we get someone. This will be a new start.
No, this can be.
You think?
No, this can be an episode.
This can be an episode.
Well, yeah. Even if it's a half hour, it's an episode.
Yeah. Or we.
We should interview Lexi now.
Lexi. Okay, Lexi. Do you like wrestling?
No, she doesn't like wrestling. Do
Who's
you
your
like
favorite
movies?
superhero?
You don't like.
She
movies?
doesn't like superheroes, but she's wearing a Batman shirt.
Yeah. Wow, you bought her the Batman.
I
shirt.
did not. She
Put
bought it
on
for
her.
herself.
So that just
No,
means
she said
you
mommy
like
bought it.
superheroes. She likes phones. She likes. to play
Honestly,
on the
though,
phone.
she does like. She likes Batman.
Yeah.
She's. I'd say she's the son I always wanted, but I do have a son, and he likes the same stuff too. So, it's like I got 3 boys because even Isabella likes the Hulk.
Yeah, she likes the Hulk.
But yeah, you know.
Isabella.
Yeah, that's Isabella. Shh. But yeah, no. First Hero.
Yeah.
The Indie GOGO.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was now.
What do you
Just
mean?
go to indiegogo.com and type in First Hero.
Yeah.
You'll get all the info. Like honestly,
I still have to do that.
who?
I wanna.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna
Contribute
do
to
it.
it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? If I had the money, I'd definitely do it to be a recurring character. How awesome would that be? To
Yeah.
be immortalized as a character. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, totally.
So.
And I think a recurring character,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's like the top one's like a recurring character. I was thinking about maybe doing the one where you subscribe. Like,
Yeah.
You get the subscription. And then,
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to be helping out. And
Yeah.
if you're a fan of comic books, which you most likely are if you're listening to us,
Yeah.
definitely check it out, you know?
Yeah, totally.
You know, there's a lot of...
And support the local talent, you know.
Yeah, if you're...
He's
in
a
our
Toronto
area,
boy,
yeah.
so yay Toronto.
And he's, like you said, he's a DJ and he has a horrible job of watching naked boobies all night.
Oh, it's a horrible job.
You know what? I'm not
But
going to lie.
somebody's got to do it.
Hey, it gets boring.
Oh,
After
for sure.
working in a...
I know you've worked at
Yeah,
that one.
I remember the first day going, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. Soon as I walked in,
Yeah.
once that girl came on the stage the second time,
Yeah. That's it.
novelty was gone.
Yeah.
First
And then the next
couple
night, hey,
hours.
guess what? You got to see those girls all over
again. Yeah.
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 No, I can see how it can get boring. I mean, I've been to a few strip joints, and
Yeah.
if you're there long enough to see the first girl on the stage, when you walked in that girl
It's time
a
to
second
leave.
time, yeah,
It's
it's like,
time to
okay. I've been here way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I wish I was in his position right now.
Oh my
you
God,
know,
me
like
too.
how awesome would that be?
To write a comic.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write a comic.
Why not?
Why not?
I've been thinking about doing the same thing.
I wrote that script. You know, that easily could
What
be.
script? Who knows? Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. Maybe.
Maybe you've seen the trailer if you watch Ethan Page's Man Without Fear. Who
Oh,
knows?
you're giving too much away.
That's right. We will be making a Quasar movie. But yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. But I think part of it too is also like, well, Kingdom's writing a comic, you know. But
Well, when you
I'm
see
more of a-
somebody
yeah,
that's on the same level as you,
Yeah.
making a comic book, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I wish I need to be doing that.
see,
you know?
I'm more of a contributor. I'm not like a writer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I could like discuss, like you've seen, like you have wicked ideas for things.
Yeah.
And then like I'll like just kind of throw like a little
Your 2
tidbit in,
cents
you know.
in.
I'm not like, hey, I have this idea,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And if I do, it's
I
usually
definitely
something-
have like a whole bunch of ideas
Yeah.
floating in my brain all the time.
I will admit one thing. I do think of crazy like characters, not even like superheroes or villains, just types of characters, you know, like
Yeah.
that you could have a comic book.
Yeah, like he was saying.
Yeah.
Like he was thinking of villains, crazy
Yeah.
villains. That's perfect because
I
What
think
I-
that's the hardest part. The villains. If you
Yeah.
get enough good villains,
you get a
coming
good
up with a
rogues,
hero could be like,
rogues gallery. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. You can have a hero in friggin' sweatpants. Who cares?
yeah,
As long as those
Tommy Sweatpants. There you go.
Tommy Sweatpants, and you had a whole bunch of, really cool villains. Cool villains that
Yeah,
they-
definitely,
they have to stand out, right?
definitely. Yeah. A funny thing about the First Hero was at work today. I forget what I was doing, but I was thinking about like we're going to be talking to Kingdom, and then I'm like thinking about the comic, and I'm like, wow, what if it makes action figures too? That'd be crazy. I'm like, oh man, I definitely get those. Like, and then one day it's a movie. Oh, jeez, you know?
I can totally see his story being a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it would relate very well to a live action
definitely.
movie.
It's not. No, I'm not gonna say it's like, but it would remind me of Unbreakable. How it was like a superhero movie, but not really.
Yeah.
You know, like something different. Like it's different, you know? And
Yeah.
that's, to me, what stands out about it, you know? You think about, like, things have been done so many times. Like, how many times has DC rebooted their universe?
Yeah.
How many times Marvel, you know, Ultimate Marvel, and, you know?
Yeah. And now they're coming out with a new reboot as well, right?
Is that Marvel now?
I think so.
Yeah, they did another one before. I don't know if you remember. It was like 96. Heroes Reborn,
Oh yeah.
where they redid the Avengers and Fantastic Four.
I don't really
It
remember.
wasn't that good.
Around that time, I wasn't really collecting or paying attention.
It was actually a precursor to Ultimate Marvel, I think, because a lot of the character designs
Yeah.
were the same for the Ultimate Marvel. And isn't the Avengers in the Ultimate Marvel called the Ultimates?
Yeah.
Well, the comic is, but they're called the Avengers, right?
Yeah. I actually like the Ultimates, the Avengers, the
Yeah.
Ultimate Avengers, whatever they called it. But I actually liked it. It was
Is the
pretty
movie
decent.
based? Well, I know Fury is.
Fury
based
is,
on.
yeah. Even Thor looks kind of like the Ultimate a little bit.
Now, when I was a kid,
But
correct
he
me if
didn't.
I'm
I
wrong,
don't think he had a cape though in the Ultimate.
was Thor a guy, like a normal person that found a rock or something and hit it,
Back in the day, he was. I think.
and then like the spirit of Thor possessed him?
Yeah. Because in the comic books now, that character's still around. But Thor,
Thunderstrike.
I don't know. I have no idea. But
He's like the bearded guy.
I don't know. But one of the last Thor comic books that I read, Thor brought Asgard to Earth. So there's like a floating rock just hovering over the desert, and it's like got castles and whatever. And he's hiding out in there. The world is freaking out that there's a floating rock in Asgard is right there. And he goes and talks to the guy that he used to turn the guy that used to turn into Thor.
Yeah.
And he's just a regular, dude. I think in this comic book he's got a cane and whatever. But yeah, he's a character in the comic book still, but I don't know if he's the bearded Thor. I have no idea. So,
Yeah.
anyways, do you want to wrap this up? You want to keep it going?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Let's
No,
wrap.
we-
How much did we burn through? 37 minutes.
We can go for a few more minutes.
Yeah. What do you want to
Why
talk
not?
about?
I don't know.
Talk more about comics?
Talk about comics. Yeah. I have this reemergence of the love of the comic book again.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned last time when at Fan Expo, like buying the trade, and I don't know. I just been wanting to. I don't like. I mentioned to you, like, all I have on my brain lately is a comic book shop.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think that would be a great idea.
I remember there's a time I mentioned it one time when I was a bit younger, and someone's like, "Oh, comics is dead,"
Yeah.
and I think at the time comics pretty much were.
Yeah. They definitely go through.
Like I know they do a lot of
stages.
the digital comics now.
Yeah.
But those same people that buy those digital comics still buy the comic, like
Yeah.
Kevin
Because
Smith.
if you like
he
the
bags and
digital,
boards everything.
yeah, if you
you
like
know?
the online version of it, you're obviously gonna want to have it in your hand at some point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You're gonna want it if you're a collector, if you're a true collector. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think comic book stores are dead. I mean, they're selling everything from toys to T-shirts. To
Oh, yeah, like-
movies, video games.
I think to me, like when I think about comic book shops that went out of business, there were comic book shops that were like had comics,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Or they had comics, but they didn't have older issues. It was just like, we sell comics,
Yeah.
you know, and then trading cards.
Yeah.
And then I think about the ones that have stood the test of time. Your Silver Snail,
Yeah.
you know?
It's basically a huge, giant adult toy store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going there specifically for toys and then
Yeah.
being like, oh yeah, there's
Oh
comics.
yeah,
there
they have
too.
comics here too.
You know? Gray Region. There's one downtown still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still there.
I think so.
But there used to be in Square One. It's now Planet Hobby. But it's still there.
Yeah.
It ain't going nowhere.
No.
You know?
It's an adult toy store, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is now.
Now, one I went to when I was a kid was called the Comic Den.
Yeah.
It was around for a really long time, but it went out of business because they didn't sell too many toys, strictly comics, and focus on anime. Like, I know anime is a very popular thing, but to me, it's still
very niche.
Yeah, it's a niche product.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get all these people going to Anime North.
Yeah.
You have way more people going to fucking Fan Expo.
Yeah.
You know? So.
You have a lot of people going to Anime North, but a lot of those people are from out of town, too.
A lot of out-of-towners, yes.
When I know Fan Expo, it's mostly people just from the city.
Yeah.
You know?
It's an event.
Yeah.
It's like, as of recording this, Monday Night Raw is in Toronto.
Yeah.
And you hear people saying, "Oh, I'm going to wrestling." You know? It's an event. You're going. It's like the Leaf game. It's something going on in Toronto. You're going to go hit it up. You know what I mean? It's not like oh, yeah, you know, there's this comic convention going on. You know?
So you tell one person and they're like, "Oh, that's this weekend."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I get so many messages on Facebook. "Oh, I want to come." You know how many people wanted to go with me to the Fan Expo?
Yeah.
I was just like, "Listen, I'm leaving at this time. Be at my house. If you're not there, then I'm gone." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Like, Fan Expo has Fan Expo's kind of like our San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, because the Toronto Comic Con's not as big as the Fan Expo.
It was good that year they did the Wizard World.
Yeah.
But
that also is pretty. I remember I started going like early, I guess it was like early 2000s to the comic book convention.
That's when I started going to.
And they have like grown so much
in the last few years. Just think about it.
Wow. Like
I said, I mentioned this off air before. Off air. I mentioned this before.
We're on the air right now. Hey, coming to you from Steve's basement,
Norval, Ontario. Broadcasting at 45.2 megahertz. But I don't even know if that's a real thing.
I have no idea.
But
radio terms.
I remember when I was a kid, first time I went to a comic book shop is because I just saw Batman, and I knew there was comics. I didn't know there was Batman comics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, Batman. You know? Then I went over to the display case, Gray Region. Wow, look, all the figures are here, you know?
Yeah.
They're more expensive. That's another thing. My comic book shop will not have overpriced figures.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Yeah.
I will sell it for the suggested retail amount.
Yeah.
You'll still make money.
Oh, totally.
You're getting it wholesale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
what about those big, huge statues? I always found those were overpriced, man.
There's a shop. I'm not gonna say in Brampton because maybe they'll listen and up their prices, but they have them so cheap.
Yeah.
They don't know what they got.
Really?
If I were to open a comic book shop, I'd go buy a bunch of theirs and put them up. Like, I have it in my head, like, it's gonna have a TV screen every day. It's gonna be like
a different
comic book movies, Batman animated series, you know.
That's what the guy over at my comic book store does. He has a movie on every day because he doesn't get too much traffic going through, even though it's across the street from a subway station. Mm-hmm. He gets his, he has slow times of the day. He just leaves the movie running on and he watches it or whatever. I've even caught people just sitting in there watching. Yeah, but. Yeah, I'm definitely. I've been back into the comic books for a while, but more recently, I've been wanting to like just consume more and more of it.
Yeah,
you know?
Especially since we started doing this.
Yeah, and talking
it's been like
about
I just
it more.
want
Totally.
Like we're supposed to be talking about everything, but everything keeps coming back to comics.
Well, it's the blueprint of being a geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like I don't have a huge collection of comics, but
I
everything I have is
think
stuff
I have
like.
a decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a five big white boxes. So that's a pretty decent size.
I have a shoebox.
But I've kept my comics since I was
I've
8.
I've hit
you
different
know?
points where my mom got rid of them, or
And I've
sadly,
never.
I went through a phase where I took ones that I thought weren't that good, and I ripped the pages out.
Yeah.
And what I did was I wallpapered my wall with them, so the
Oh, yeah,
wallpaper
yeah,
was
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It looked fucking badass, but
Yeah, but you destroyed a whole bunch of comics.
they were mostly Quasar.
You know what? I had a shoebox of the comics that I wanted to do that with. I was going to do something like that too. I remember I saw like a Cribs one time with
John Leguizamo.
His bathroom.
So I got the idea
I was
from.
like, that's a perfect place for the bathroom.
I got the idea from.
Sit down, take a shit, read the
Oh,
wall.
yeah. Oh, look.
Hey, look. And I had I had a lot of Iron Mans in that.
Do you remember like the old Terminator comics?
Yeah, I have them.
I had a bunch of them that I would.
They look like
use
they
that
were
for.
painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they were actually pretty good comics.
Yeah.
As I got older and I read them, like these are really good, man.
They were well drawn, man. Very well drawn.
Yeah, like. So I mean, I just, comic books help. I learned to read from comic books.
Yeah, same with
That's.
I wasn't interested in reading,
Yeah. Same with me.
Dr. Seuss or anything.
I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did.
Yeah, I read my fair
I love me
share.
some Dr. Seuss.
Hey, I read my fair share of Dr. Seuss and and books like that. But the comic books, I would draw from the comic books, read the comic book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything.
I would do the little tiny maze on some of them. Remember the one that it was Chip Ahoy cookies and they had a little maze inside
Yep.
the cookie? Yeah. I would do all that stuff. If I didn't like that comic book, if it was
If it was one I didn't like, I'd like go on the Marvel or DC like the subscription form.
Yeah.
When you're filling it out, check the ones I want.
Yeah.
And I cut the thing out, give it to my mom. Hey, I want these.
Yeah.
She's like,
Didn't they?
this is like $400 worth of comics.
I remember going to
I'm
the
like,
comic book
yes,
store.
but it's worth it.
I remember going to the comic book store and thinking I need at least $30 to get a good amount of comic books,
Yeah.
And coming home and having only like 10 comic books.
Think about like Fan Expo. Like
Yeah.
I said before on this podcast, Daredevil. I think it's $179. It's the Death of Elektra.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Finding that for $10.
Yeah.
I also remember now there was more than one in there.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get it?
Yeah.
I came home, I looked it up on eBay. They're going for like $100.
Wow.
Buy it now. There was a bid one was bid up. It was graded. It was 10,
Yeah.
and it was like into like the hundreds and fifties.
Wow.
I'm just like, geez.
I know the comic books I got aren't really all that expensive. Like I got those Punisher War Journals, but I got them for $4. 5 comics for $4.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. And it was just like a bunch of issues that I needed, right? To fill in my collection.
Yeah.
But I got the first issue of Punisher War Journal for $1. It's crazy.
That's the thing. Like I
Or
bought that
$2.
Superman Unchained.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't read it yet. And I'm like, I know I'm going to read it. It's number 1, right? So I'm going to get number 2, give me number 3. Like, I like to start. That's the thing I say the last few years. I've got going
Yeah.
on certain stuff. You remember a couple years ago I was reading Jonah Hex stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like following along with it. And then I don't know, I probably got fired or something. It didn't really have like the expendable income,
Yeah.
Because before when I worked at Square One, on the way to the bus stop, I had to walk by the comic book store.
Yeah.
I'd go in there and be like, oh, get this, get this, get this, get this.
Yeah.
Get
It
this.
was convenient.
Like I got this Batman one, and like it's called Dark Detective. I got issue 1 to 3.
Yeah.
It went on longer. I was getting into it, but I just lost track. And then again, I started reading G.I. Joe stuff that came with 2 packs
Yeah.
of the figures, and I was just like, you know what? Like, G.I. Joe comics are awesome. And I started reading the old Marvel G.I. Joe comics. But it comes and goes, but right now it doesn't feel like it's going.
Yeah.
Like, I say since Christmas. Like, I realized that's what I like. I like Batman. I'm collecting Batman stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm loving comic books.
Yeah.
Right now, you know? And I could say it to my wife, you know, there's worse things I could be into.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely into the Batman. Anything Batman.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know, I've been getting out of the... I've been getting out of the superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And getting more into, you know, the underground comic books. You know, the ones that aren't so popular.
Yeah.
Like 100 Bullets or Walking Dead. They're popular, but they're not, you know, Superman or Batman, right?
Joined again by Alexis. But yeah, you know, I have read other stuff.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, like before I read Sandman stuff.
Yeah.
And like the Vertigo.
Yeah.
Back, it was really good. But even that still got a superhero type
Yeah.
thing to it. But yeah, you know, I've never really been into the most like not so superhero stuff. It's like Punisher.
Yeah. You should check out 100 Bullets. That's really good. That's good. Just trying to think of the other ones that I've read.
And Walking Dead. I want to read
Walking Dead's pretty awesome. Scalped. You ever heard of Scalped?
No.
No? You ever hear of Goon?
Yeah, isn't they doing a Kickstarter for it?
Yeah, but I saw that Kickstarter like 2 years ago.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on with
You know
that.
how many Hollywood projects are going to be done by Kickstarter?
It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be. There shouldn't be Hollywood producers and directors asking for money from the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That movie should get done on its own by the studio.
Yeah. There's some comics I think that should be like TV shows. Like, wasn't there going to be a Preacher TV show?
That would have been, yeah, they did some film testing, makeup testing for that, but it fell through because HBO thought it was too much for them. You know, like, it was too religious, too
much
for HBO.
HBO.
This was before, though, the True Blood and stuff like that.
But after The Sopranos.
But it was just after the Sopranos, yeah. But that I was looking forward to. Now apparently it's going to be a movie, which I'm not looking forward to it being a movie. That is one comic book that needs to be a TV show.
Same with Punisher.
Punisher
would be
too.
An awesome TV show.
I also think a Moon Knight TV show would be awesome. Moon Knight, yes. I'm talking.
Who's his sidekick? Quasar?
No, I'm talking. Bring him up to the level of you know, the popular superheroes like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America. He
is possible. He's always been like a supporting guy.
He is Marvel's Batman. You know what I mean?
He's totally Batman.
He is Marvel's Batman.
Totally Batman.
I mean, Punisher could be arguably Marvel's Batman as well, but or Daredevil, but Moon Knight is right up there for me.
Yeah.
I used to collect the comic book, and he's a crazy guy. He talks to himself. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's insane.
With Moon Knight, I always liked his look. Just the look. It always kind of reminded me of Batman.
Yeah.
He was always in like similar poses.
Yeah, totally.
But
he's got the hood.
Yeah, I never knew too much about him.
Yeah.
He's almost like Azrael Batman.
Yeah, he is like Azrael Batman because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few comic books of his. I enjoy him. I think he would be. It would be a really good TV show. It would be. You can just show this guy slowly get crazier and crazier, you know, while he's fighting crime. The thing is, he doesn't really have a huge rogues gallery either, you know. But
He has a rogues gallery.
he does, but it's
Or
not.
not.
I know he's got some kind of voodoo dude that he fights a lot, but I don't really know
Yeah.
the extent of all of them.
But the thing with the Marvel universes too, like we mentioned on the villains one.
Yeah.
So many of the villains cross pollinate.
He could be fighting Kingpin and his henchmen. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I remember the only comic I ever seen that I had, but I don't remember reading it, was Moon Knight teaming up with Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's also teamed up with Punisher as well.
Hi, everybody. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey everybody, this is Sydney and Vivian, and check out our review show on When Geeks Collide.
Hey everybody, check us out on Twitter at WGN Network.
Bye.
Come outside.
All right, so
I have stage fright. No, but yeah, so let's get to wrap things up.
yeah,
Hey, I'm talking.
we talked Kingdom about his
Anthony
comic
Kingdom
book.
James talked about his comic book, talked
Yeah.
about his upcoming show.
Talked about our dreams and aspiration of working in the comic industry.
And,
that time.
and yeah, I don't like that guy either. So yeah, Indie GOGO.
yeah,
Go to Indie GOGO, look up F1rst Hero, and support them, help them
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and support us
yeah.
You know?
Keep listening. Tell your friends, your family members.
at WGC on Twitter, at WGC Network
on Twitter.
on Twitter,
Yeah.
and we're at When Geeks Collide at hotmail.com and gmail.com.
Yeah. And you can check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, facebook.com/WhenGeeksCollide, youtube.com/WhenGeeksCollide.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a new Ethan Page, Between the Pages with Page, which we talked about on the Ethan Page show,
Yeah.
and 2 of his episodes aired before the Ethan Page show.
That's right.
And we'll also have Sid and Viv. They're gonna do some more.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
reviews.
more of that. It's just been back to school, so
Yeah,
we've been
hectic
busy
time.
with that. So
And some more stuff coming. Oh, Warhead's gonna be doing a horror movie
that's right.
review.
And we're gonna try to get Warhead on here and
Yeah.
talk about some horror movies.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll have him on.
Yeah.
I'll message him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He just started a new job, so
And he hates it.
does he?
But yeah, so
All right. And
be
that's
good, everyone.
Yeah, that's it for this week, and tune in next week.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more geeky fun.
When Geeks Collide.
All right, bye.
Crazy town, I'm having a hard time. There's no love to be found. Having a hard time in this crazy town. I'm having a hard time. There's no love to be found. I'm sick and tired of paying dues, baby. And I'm sick and tired of having so many hard times.